This changes everything for the Toronto Maple Leafs as we have multiple huge updates to go over today as Elliot Friedman has dropped a massive report surrounding Anthony Stolarz and his future in Toronto. But not only that, we have a shocking new development surrounding Joseph Wall that has huge implications going forward. We're going to break all that down on this episode. But before we get into it all, I have a pretty special announcement to make today, folks. If you guys are interested in covering your favorite team similar to what we do here at Leafs Digest, check out the link in the description, digestmedia.ca/join-us. We're looking for passionate creators. If you are interested in that, check out the link down below. And thank you guys again for your continued support over here. Excited to see some of you guys apply down there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into the video. A lot to go over today, Darius. Obviously, there's a few different things to discuss here. Some new news that has come out surrounding both Stolarz and Joseph Wall, both of the goalies. But let's start with Joseph Wall because he, according to the team and Brad Living himself, is going to miss the majority at least, or at least for an indefinite period of time regarding training camp. You can see this here, team statement. The Toronto Maple Leafs announced today that goaltender Joseph Wall has taken a leave of absence from the team to attend to a personal family matter. No additional details will be provided at this time, and we ask that his privacy be respected. So Darius, he's going to be missing an indefinite amount of time, whether that's the entirety of training camp. It's not clear at this point, but obviously best wishes to him and his family. We don't know what's going on. We're not going to speculate what's going on, but it is a personal family matter. So hopefully everything is good with him and everything gets taken care of there and everything, works itself out here. But he's going to be out for a while now, which of course, from both the hockey side of things here and of course the personal side of things is unfortunate news. So obviously best wishes to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Best wishes to Joseph Wall. And the Leafs also clarified that this isn't an issue with Joseph Wall himself. This isn't like substance abuse or anything like that. So clearly don't want to speculate past what they've already told us, which it's a family issue. So, hopefully everything's okay. A leave of absence also doesn't sound like it's going to be a short-term thing. So, hopefully everything's okay there. He's going to be able to return and all of that. But I think it's interesting. It opens, an interesting door for one of the goalies with the Marlies to come in now and maybe have an opportunity to be the backup, maybe even when the season starts. We don't know how long this is going to be. So very interesting development here through training camp, but all of that to say, hopefully everything's okay with Joseph Woll and family.
Yeah, Craig Berube came out as well and said, or spoke out about this and said it's obviously a tough situation for him. We're all here to support him and do what we can to help. That's really it. He needs to do what he needs to do. We're thinking about him. We miss him. And we're here to support him as best as we can. So, yeah, obviously, hope everything's good with him as it pertains to the hockey side of things. Not ideal for him starting the season either. Of course, that's not the priority here, but we do have to address that as well. Like, it's an unfortunate situation for the team, for him. So, hopefully, everything works itself out there. And, yeah, maybe, Dennis Hildeby is going to have to step up now because, their backup goalie situation, Akhtiamov, Dennis Hildeby is starting tonight, I believe, for 2 periods into Akhtiamov for 1. And, speaking about the goalie situation, some new reports have dropped here. And Elliot Friedman, let's transition to this now because it kind of flows well into what we expect is going to be the starter for the Leafs this year. Stolarz, they're working at an extension, and I understand they're going back and forth trying to make it work. When you're putting in that much effort, it tells you that both sides want to get something done. And I've always believed that when both sides want it, they usually find a way. So clearly an extension is in the works and is going to get done, we would assume. However, another report has dropped a couple hours ago talking about the issue being the number, which makes things interesting. So we'll dive into comments from Anthony Stolarz here in a minute where he spoke out a little bit about the number. Darius, this makes things intriguing. It seems like they want to get it done. Both sides are absolutely motivated, but it's a matter of getting the number right. And Stolarz had some things to say, which we'll get into in a minute, but very intriguing here. And yet again, has all this stuff is very crucial. Pretty big implications here as we approach start of the regular season in a few weeks.
Yeah, and I think that the problem here, if you want to call it a problem, is actually the number. I don't think it's the number of years or the term or anything like that. I think they probably have that close to nailed down at this point, but it's the number. And there's been a lot of rumors and reports flying out there that the Leafs goaltending situation, if they get this done, which I do want to say, I think they're going to get it done. And I think it's actually going to happen before the season starts because, like Elliot Friedman said, if both sides want to get it done, it's going to get done. Look at the Florida Panthers, right? All 3 guys wanted to stay. They ended up getting it done. So I think that it's going to happen. They are going to end up re-signing Anthony Stolarz. But to get back to my initial point, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of reports out there that the Leafs goaltending situation after this year will look similar in terms of term and dollar amount to the Vancouver Canucks. So I think that actually would be fine. I would be okay with that because I think that when you look at the Leafs, they had one of the best tandems in the league last year. Obviously, Stolarz missed a lot of time. Woll played pretty good in his absence. And then obviously Hildeby wasn't that good, but there's a large gap at this point between the AHL and the NHL in terms of goaltending, especially for younger goaltenders. So, they have a really good 1-2 punch right now. If they can move forward with this into the future, a couple of years into the future, I feel like that extends their cup window just that much more. A lot of people are saying you shouldn't be paying Stolars. This is a guy who doesn't have that much NHL experience and has only been a backup in the league, stuff like that. He played pretty good last year. I would name him the Leaf starter at this point in time, and I think that he's only going to take on more of a workload, and I think he's ready for it. That's what he's been working on all summer. His conditioning. He's extremely athletic for a guy his size. He's 6 foot 6 and like 240 pounds. He's very athletic, maybe even more athletic than Joseph Wall, who's more technically sound. So, I think that they have to get this done at this point because some of the younger guys aren't ready to make that jump yet. And the fact that both sides want to get it done, they're probably just ironing out stuff. I do think it could become a problem if it bleeds into the season because, then the season starts, feelings change, the way players are playing change. But I do think ultimately this actually does get done before the season starts.
Yeah, and with the number being the problem, Stolars came out recently and spoke about it about a week ago. I'm just a laid back, it was about 5 days ago actually. I'm just a laid back guy. I kind of look at it as I'm playing in the best men's league in the world. So he just wants it to be fair. And that's basically what he said surrounding the contracts. We said that in the channel multiple times. He wants a fair number. And I wasn't really expecting them. Like, if you would ask me a few months ago, if they would have, at least at the end of last year's playoffs, if they would have wanted to extend him beyond this year before the season started, I would say probably not because they just signed Joseph Wall. But, like, he wants to be here. He even said right after getting eliminated, or multiple times throughout the summer as well, that there's unfinished business on the table. Not right after getting eliminated, but near that. This is all the film I needed. He is winning the Vezina. He was elite. And you can see this here 5 or 6 years ago, people were counting me out, and maybe I was counting myself out at that time. Just being able to overcome that and be in the position I'm in now, I'm extremely grateful for that. So he has all the characteristics of a great goalie. Fantastic individual from all accounts. Obviously, we're not hands-on with it. So it's going to be interesting. He wants to be here. The Leafs want him here, and you would be locking up a tandem for the next 3 to 4 years that, in theory, should be the best tandem in hockey, or one of the best tandems in hockey. Last year, I'd argue they were. Of course, injuries were the unfortunate reality there for the postseason. Sam Bennett hitting him. He also, we didn't cover this in a video, he said there's no ill effects following the concussion that Sam Bennett gave him. Obviously, the ill effect was them losing the series. But at the end of the day, hopefully they get it done. Let us know down below the number that you guys expect. There's been some rumblings about 3-4 years, 3-4 million, 5 million. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Let us know down below what your thoughts are. And of course, Joseph Wall is hopefully going to be okay here soon. But like, this changes a lot of things as it pertains to, will he be ready for the start of the regular season, which is a couple weeks away here now? Will he be ready? Because again, he's going to have to go through another, depending how long he's out for. I mean, he was going to factor into preseason games here soon, so it makes things interesting there. Let us know. But speaking of preseason games, Darius, I want to touch on quickly before I wrap up here Easton Cowan and Ben Danford, who will both be playing tonight against Ottawa. Of course, Ottawa traveling in. I love their games in Ottawa, according to Craig Berube. I thought Easton played a really direct game and did some good things. A direct game, and Danford has been great and has great feet. He's very composed out there for a young kid. He made some really nice outlet passes. He's simple, and I covered that in the video. Again, you weren't there, you missed the game, but hopefully they can have some good outcomes here tonight, because this is pretty high praise for Berube and something we actually didn't see last year following Cowan's performances. He didn't give him direct praise. We'll have another video fully covering this, but something to keep an eye out on ahead of the matchup against the Senators tonight, in which the Leafs have most of their regulars in. You'll see Nyes, Matthews, Michelli, Roy, Easton Cowan, Ben Danford, which some of those guys are regulars, some aren't, and the Senators don't have their regulars.
Yeah, and you'll see Cowan as well. And I think that I'll start with Danford first because it's a little bit easier to me. He is going to be a great player. Like, the poise he has with the puck, his gap control, all of these things for how young he is already really good. He's not going to be able to make this team, that we know, and he's going to go back to junior because he's too young in the CHL rule. Can't go to the Marlies. So he's going to go back to the OHL this year, continue his development. We'll see him next year, but let's see how long he sticks around in camp. I think that will be very interesting. Or if they even want to give him 9 games or something, you can give a player in the CHL 9 games before December 1st. So that'll be interesting. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm curious to see how long he sticks around. Now, for Easton Cowan, a lot of people are saying, oh, he didn't score, he looked horrible. That's not the case. I mean, with Craig Berube, if you play a very simple style and you play the right way, you might end up sticking around and finding success. And Easton Cowan did that in the first game. I want to see what he does again tonight. He's playing in a different role. He's playing lower in the lineup, but I do think if you continue to play a simple game that works, he created a goal, right, the other night where Nick Robertson scored, you will stick around. And Craig Berube is talking very highly of him now, whereas it didn't, you mentioned it, that didn't happen last year. He was not saying that. He said there was a lot left to be desired. So, Timothy Liljegren, for example, does he have more skill maybe than a guy like Brandon Carlo? Yeah, maybe, but he doesn't play that simple style of game, that direct style of game. And they traded him away because they want that in the lineup. That's what works in the playoffs. So, it'll be interesting to see what Cowan does here the rest of the way and how long he sticks around too, because it's Marlies. He's going to be in Toronto. It's just the Marlies or the Maple Leafs. That's the big question this year. So we'll see what happens if he continues to play that way.
Yeah, and obviously, clearly, like there's stuff behind the scenes we don't know about what they're asking of Easton Cowan and what he's gonna do. Saw some physicality, some bodies thrown around, some checks. So especially after the whistle, so it's good to see. Hopefully, they can keep that up, and we might be seeing Easton Cowan a lot sooner than a lot of us initially thought. But that'll wrap it up. Let us know down below what your thoughts are. See you guys later.